Now let's come to the question: how to build effective full kits? How to build? Let's see. We have to move from being unprepared to prepared. Now, what happens is in most environments, there is no formal definition that these are the activities or these are the tasks. They are supposed to be the preparations or they are supposed to be the full kit. They are not in place. However, there is a good intuitive understanding. We have some intuition, some knowledge because we have been working on it for ages. So we have some knowledge about it that what activities can be regarded as preparation, and that will help us if they are ready, given on platter when we start. So we have that knowledge. So we begin with using that knowledge and define as of now what we think as a full kit, and then we start using it and evolve it as we go ahead. Okay. You may begin with what is clearly known at the moment and then keep on making it exhaustive. The point here is that please don't wait till you think through everything and make an exhaustive list. It could take more time, and even then it may not be exhaustive, it may not be complete. So since we are starting in an environment where we have no clue as to what should be the full slate, we intuitively think that these items or these activities should be ready before we start. So the advice is start with those activities. As you go ahead, you evolve it. Maybe you remove some activities from there and put them in the regular process, and or add some activities from regular process into this. So if you back and forth, plus and minus will happen till you settle down. But this is the simple and easiest way to begin. Then make sure that your top performers are in charge of defining it. Why? Because they have the best understanding of what information or tools, etc., are needed to be available. So the chances are that the first cut full kit that you define will be 90 to 95% okay. Because if it is done by the highly experienced top performers, it is likely to be okay. So engage them into that activity, and simply defining a full kit is just not enough. Make sure that there is a systematic way for employees to only work on tasks or work that are full kitted. That discipline will have to be inculcated. It may not happen overnight, but okay, people will feel happy that if they are given full kit and they are given authority to refuse to work if the full kit is not there. Then identify and define where full kits need to occur at different points along your workflow. You know your workflow well. You know where the jobs can get stuck. You know what are the things which can be done in parallel. So you can once you have initial full kit, you have started doing that. Your projects, your orders become a little faster. So uh, allow them to settle, let them work. Then I will look at your workflow and define some more areas where full kit may help. So review regularly what is in the full kit. Policies and work environment do change. Maybe you buy some new machine, or maybe you have a different kind of project and all that. So uh, uh, so you may have a different full kit for the different situation, maybe different classification of orders or different types of projects. So let the full kit be reviewed by your top performers from time to time, so that the full kit stays relevant and accurate. If it doesn't stay relevant, people are not going to use it. Okay, be sure about that. If it is not accurate, maybe they will grumble about it. But then you will come to know and you can improve on it. But if it is not relevant, yeah, well, just a item to take, so they'll take it and go ahead. Then, as you go ahead, monitor it as part of a process measure. Meaning what? See what percentage of work that is fulfilled. Don't go overboard. Don't try to do everything the whole project as a full kit. But see to it that there is that is there is some stopper to it. So something are slowing down because of certain things which can be done earlier. Maybe you can do that, and this will enable management to improve the system and employee performance over time. So invest more time into building a solid full kit. Too often we come to accept and live with the negative effects of not having full kit. Well, that is part of life, that is how it is, and we don't even think that this is a negative effect and which can be cured. So we have to come out of that mindset. Always question why. And then just think of the time that we repeatedly spend in resolving the problem arising out of our incomplete full kit. Spend part of fraction of that time in defining the full kit, and it will improve your life. Now, as I said earlier, full kit can be at order level or project level or at path level or sub assembly or assembly level, but also the full kit can be at task level. So what is that? See, every task, there's tasks are rarely standalone. They are dependent on the producers, and the next tasks are dependent on the current task. And many a times the tasks are dependent on various other tasks in different paths. So a full kit is an in kit that contains everything that is needed to complete a task, current task in hand, and it is made available before starting a task. If it is required to so that task level also we can do full kit, and this should be okay consider. It is important to consider for those tasks that receive inputs from various paths. Because if it is coming from just from the previous one, chances are that everything comes. If it is just a part, just okay, that is going ahead. But typically, if it is happening from multiple paths, then it is important to view it and try and do that. It ensures that once the task has started, it can proceed at full speed to completion. The task should move like at a bullet speed, as we say. This avoids the waste caused by start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. That is a cycle unnecessary. So, and this happens because some prerequisites are missing. So if we have that, it will encourage us to what we slogan that we give: do it right the first time, and then we don't enable people to do that. This is one of the ways to enable them to do that. Now let us have a look at the video. Most of us are familiar with Formula One race. Now what it has got to do with full kit? Let's see.
Stop. Time to refuel and change tires. Newmore himself changes the tire. Only 4 crew members, including the driver, are allowed to work on the car. It's a tense time. Holland stays in his seat, anxious to get away. Let's watch. The tires are changed at last. A crewman polishes the windshield as Holland moves away just 67 seconds after he stops.
Now let us see what happened in 2013 Melbourne. So we saw actually two examples of the same thing. In 1950s, there was a full kit, no doubt about it. There was a person who looked after tires. There was a person who filled in the petrol. There was a person who checked something and something and something. So the idea was that the car should move out as fast as possible. So it was a full kit, no doubt. But why I showed you that even this full kit, it took couple of minutes, but that time also it was possible to bring down to couple of seconds because that was the need. So it was a race. Not always that you should be doing that. It all depends, like how much time you have. So in the race, you wanted to have more time in driving the car rather than waiting to get the things fixed. So the second part of the video, it showed it was done in few seconds, couple of seconds. There are more people doing that. So that is what you can define the full kit, and as you go, you can improve upon that. So this kind of thing possible without full kit. If you have seen people who are ready, they had material in their hand. As soon as the car came in, they just started working.